Okay, we are going to get started with the September Club Q kit. It's called a Trip of a Lifetime. And on this kit, it looks like we suggest navy, brown jasper, and amaretto. If you don't have those colors or you want to change it up, you go right ahead. Any of the browns or kind of antique-y rust colors would work with this. You could also brighten it up with an orange, or I actually used mango mai tai. You can add more blues if you want to. I have deep sea that I'm using. Let's see, you could even add in some greens if you want to, because there's some green in the suitcases here. Totally up to you. If you want to make it look very antique, you can use all browns. So you just choose what works for you. And as always, we are going to start with the cutting diagrams first. I want to point out one thing. In the picture here, you can see that this little book, it's going to go on the outside of your page protector so that you can flip through it. It also has rounded corners, but the pieces that we're looking for in the kit, they're actually square. If you do want those rounded corners, you can just use a corner rounder and just clip the corners. Okay? So let's get started. We have a couple diagrams here that we're going to work on first. And let's do, I'll grab my trimmer here. Let's do the suitcase paper first. Make sure we can see that in the camera there. Okay, perfect. Trim these end pieces off. This kit is actually designed with brand new papers that we have. It's called, a paper line is called Away We Go. Lots of fun travel prints in there, and it also mixes in a few floral prints. So it's kind of a fun one to use for lots of different things. Okay, so we are going to start with the 4x6 here. So we're actually going to cut this at 6 inches all the way across. So turn it so the suitcases are at the 6. Save that bottom piece. And then I'm going to turn it and do the 4-inch so that we have a 4x6. And if I get going too fast, just hit pause and get going again whenever you are ready. So you have this 4x6. And then we are going to, don't take this out, you just push it all the way into 6 inches. And trim. This is just a leftover piece. And we're going to turn it and cut it at 5 inches. So you have a 5x6. 6 this way, 5 this way. Okay, and the bottom part down here, we are going to cut 2 inches and then 2 inches. So I'm going to turn this around so that we're using the bottoms of the suitcase, and we're putting it in at 2 inches. And trim. And then move it down and get another 2-inch strip. This is just leftover, or you can use any one of these 2-inch pieces, because this actually works out to be 2 inches too. But we want 11 3/4. So I'm going to put this in and just trim off just 1/4 inch. Because we want it 11 3/4 inch by 2. I did both of those together. You can do them singly if you want. But then you have, oops, 2 pieces that are 2 inches by 11 3/4. And the next diagram is the light blue dot. And we're going to go ahead and cut out the 6 by 6 first. Let's put it into 6 inches, trim, turn it, and you get lots of extra with this one. So go ahead and set the extra aside so that you don't get it mixed up later. You just need one of the 6 by 6s. And this piece that's left over, we're going to do a 3.5 by 10. So let's put it in long ways and do 3.5 by 10. And if I get going too fast, just hit pause and take your time. This is a leftover. This would be a cute little tag. Sit that in your leftover pile. We have our 3 by 10. And with the last piece, we need a 2 by 9. So let's put this in and cut long ways at 2. Turn it by 9. Okay. Another little piece that would be a cute tag. Okay, so we have our cutting diagrams out of the way. And then we have a 3 by 9, which I'm trying to find here. Here it is. A 3 by 9 suitcase paper that we are going to cut into 3 by 3s. So let's turn this way and cut at 3 inches, 3 inches, and 3 inches. So you have 3 by 3 pieces. And then we are going to set these aside. I think that is all the cutting. Oh, no. We need the stripe paper. Where is that? Here it is. So we cut the 2 by 10 3/4 stripe paper, which is this one, into 2 1 by 10 3/4. So what we want to do is just cut this at 1 inch. And we'll just cut that right in half. Oops. I did not line mine up right. Don't do it quite like that. Get it in there straight. But so you want 1 inch and 1 inch. I'm going to make these work though. These are just for little banners at the bottom, so they'll still work. Okay, so I think we have the cutting done. If you want to chalk things up as you go, you just choose the colors as you go. Excuse me. Okay, so we are going to just start layering pieces together that need to go together. We have the suitcase piece that we cut out, and this one was already pre-cut for you. So this bluish purple, let's turn it around here. These get layered together. This goes right in the middle. And a lot of times I will actually just lay out all my pieces so that in case I do mess up as I go, I can still change it if I want to. So I'm just going to tack this down just a little bit with my ATG gun. And I'm going to just kind of lay these where they need to be on the page. On page 1, we have layered pieces that will go together like this. So the light blue dot goes on top of the navy purplish. And remember to chalk these up if you would like. I'm using Deep Sea. So it's it's just a little bit of a brighter blue. It suggests navy, I think, on there. Any of those blues would work. We also have Blue Moon that would look really nice with it. Tack this down just a little bit. This gets centered. This goes about a ½ inch down from the top of the page and about an inch from the right side of the page here. And these are the 3x3s that are going to go on here, but we want to add a little decoration there. So you had, in your brown die cuts, you had 2 circles that you punch out of there, and then the rest come out of the inside of these circles here. And I am going to, on the back sides of these, actually I'm going to put a little adhesive. Oops. ATG gun's not wanting to work. So a little adhesive at the bottom of your circle, and then you center it and you show about half the circle. It just adds a little extra to the page. A little adhesive on the bottom. Center it and just about half showing. And one more. Chalk these if you want. I'm going to add a little orange. Brighten this up a little bit. And start at the top here. About a ¼ inch all the way around. I'm using Mango Mai Tai for this one. Add a little brightness to it. Oops. And again, about a ¼ inch. And if you want to space these out before you actually put them down, see, I got mine a little bit off. Peel this back up again. But if you want to space them out and then pick it up and glue it down, that might work a little better. Just so you have the spacing exactly how you want them. And then this is a really cute spot for 3 different little photos here. I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece down too, because I can tell from the picture that this is where it's going to go. Oops. Well, see, that's why I just tack it down just a little bit. I'm going to take this off the bottom because there's things that go underneath here at the bottom. Okay, so we have these 2 that we are going to use as banners across the bottom, 1 on each page. We have 1 banner that's already cut for you, and then 1 we are going to cut little dovetails out of the ends here. So what I do is I just barely touch the ends together. Try not to crease it. It's hard to do with these really skinny pieces. But you can do that and trim the end, or you can take this one that's already cut for you. Just line it up with this one. You can see, put it right behind there. And you can trim this out. So it's at about the same angle. Okay. same with these guys here, the ones that you cut out. There's going to be, so this is why I said just barely tack it down, because I'm going to move that out of the way for a minute. And then I have these two together, but I'm going to just touch the corners there, cut back towards you, and line them up here, and trim back towards you on this one as well from the corner. Yeah, this is much easier to touch the corners together when you have a bigger piece. This one's almost creasing, but not quite. Okay. And last one. And if it's a little bit off, you're never going to notice. Okay, so on both pages, you have one suitcase one that goes across the bottom, one wood one, and again, this does not have to be exactly like I'm doing it. You set it up so that it works for you and your photos. We have the striped one over top of the suitcases a little bit. Same over here. Start with the suitcases. So once you get all these lined up, and adjust these however you want. If you want more of the suitcase showing, that's fine too. You can put these kind of in behind. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on once I have those glued down in place. And on the right side, well, actually I'm going to punch the rest of these out here, these little circles. This is just a little bit of a decoration. If you want to put little words in there, you can. It's just to add some fun shapes. These other little circles are going to be used on your book, so go ahead and save those. And on the right side of your page, we are going to layer this up, and then we'll do the book very last. Book that goes over the top. So your circle you want to kind of put at an angle. Remember to chalk things up if you would like. I'm going to add a little glue to the edge of this. And this gets tucked right underneath here, just barely overlapping your brown circle there. Your trip of a lifetime, that gets layered up, and there should be little copper brads. For each end. And those get tacked down. You can move these around too to whatever fits you. If you want them offset or right on top of each other, that is fine. We have one more little banner that we're going to cut. There's a light blue dot strip. And chop the end of that up just a little. And the right side will show, so I'm going to put a little in there also. We're going to tuck the blue border, or I'm sorry, the brown border right in behind the blue banner. And then we can layer up the little frames. Punch these out. So we don't use this offset one. We just use the ones that are perfectly circles, but this would be really cute to put another photo behind or something and add to the page if you want to. Would be cute. But we only use the circle ones. This one, I'm gonna chalk this up just a little. Pat a little color on here. Put a little adhesive. And this goes onto your chipboard frame right in the center. And this piece can go behind it if you want to, but really you're going to use a photo behind here. Excuse me. So if you don't want to add that, you don't have to. It's just an extra piece that looked good in the picture since we didn't have a photo in there. You don't really need it. This one goes on here. A little adhesive. Oh. I'm dropping everything today. A little adhesive on there. That piece goes right on there like that. We have the little compass. Punch these out. These are a little bit delicate, so I'm trying to be careful here. So you can leave this star piece in if you want, or you can take it out. The one in the picture, it's actually taken out so that the chipboard shows through. That's up to you. A little adhesive on there. And your lifetime, I use the Barely Art glue on stuff like this because I like to just put a couple of dots here, lay this down. That's really all you need. You don't need glue all the way across there. So triple a lifetime. And page 2 is done. We are going to quickly make the book. It's very simple to make. There is your last suitcase piece, goes right on top of the blue dot, that goes right on top of the stripe, and then the wood grain. So they should all line up so that you have 1 inch long, each one is 1 inch longer than the other. So you have wood grain, stripe, light blue, and suitcases. Okay? And what we're going to do is on each one of these, we're going to score right across the top at 1 inch. Okay, we are going to start with the wood. And if you do not have a score tool, I'll show you how. I actually don't have anything here, so I grabbed my AAA card. You can use a credit card and score. But we are going to go across the short edge at 1 inch. Actually, I'm going to go this way. So I'm going to put mine into 1 inch right here. Move this out of the way. Whoops. I'm going to put my card in and score all the way across at 1 inch. Okay? And we're going to do that with each one. So this, once you have that, what I'm going to do is this part that's folded right here, I'm going to put adhesive just on this dark side 1 inch strip. So I'm going to put all the way to the crease here. And then the way this works is we tuck it behind, flush with the top, and fold it over like this. So we will just keep layering this just like that. And then this goes on the top outside of your page protector. So your page slides in, this will go over the top of your page protector so that you can flip through on the outside. So your next piece to score is your stripe paper, and make sure you do it across the short, not the long way. Put that in at 1 inch and score. Take my little credit card, score all the way across. Fold it up, and then put adhesive just on the 1 inch part. And again, if you want these corners rounded, you definitely can. That's how we did it for the picture. We just took our corner rounder, clipped the edges. So you want to line this up right on top, press down, and then that will adhere to the back. Okay, the next piece, so this one is 6 by 6. It won't matter which side, but you just want to do 1 inch on there and score. Fold it back, and then we will put adhesive on the dark 1 inch side. And again, we line that up right on top of that and even press it down, and then it's adhered to the back. And we have one more piece, and you might want to keep pressing this down up here just so that it kind of lays flat. Okay, and on this one, we actually do want to score on the long side. So this way, not the short side. We'll turn it like this, score at the 1 inch. With my fancy scoring tool there. And then put adhesive on the 1 inch piece on the inside, just right up to the score line. And then this one goes right on top of it. And if you want to put the whole book together, you can first and then adhere it to your page. But once you slide your page into your page protector, this part will go over the top. And you can just add photos like that. The last piece is to add your little photo flipper circles there onto each page. And your page will be done. I'm just going to add one here so you put a little glue. Half circle showing. And you do that to each one. And you can crease this a few times. And once you get this into your page protector, this starts to lay flat. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed September Club Q. We appreciate you being a Club Q member. And we will see you in October.